My parents banned me from Thanksgiving because my divorce would shame them. I'm Madison Turner, 34, and this is how I discovered my worth after my family abandoned me. 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, I received the call that shattered everything I thought I knew about family. But what happened next, the inheritance, the mansion, the party that went viral, proved that sometimes losing your birth family means finding your true one. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. It all started 3 weeks before Thanksgiving when I received that phone call from my mother. Her voice had that particular tone, the one she used when discussing family disappointments. For 8 years, I'd been married to someone who made me feel worthless every single day. The emotional abuse was invisible to everyone else. He was charming at parties, successful at work, the perfect son-in-law. But behind closed doors, I was never thin enough, never smart enough, never good enough. Every achievement I had was luck. Every mistake was proof of my incompetence. My therapist, Dr. Chen, had been working with me for 2 years. She'd helped me recognize the patterns, name the abuse, find my voice again. When I finally filed for divorce 6 months ago, I thought I was reclaiming my life. I thought my family would support me. The day I told my parents, sitting in their pristine living room with the family portraits staring down at us, my mother's first words weren't, "Are you okay?" or "How can we help?" They were, "What will people think?" My father set down his coffee cup with that deliberate slowness he used when disappointed. "Madison, marriage takes work. You can't just quit when things get difficult." "He was destroying me, Dad," the therapist said. "Therapists make money by telling you what you want to hear," he interrupted. "Your sister Sarah has been married for 12 years. She knows how to keep her husband happy." Mom nodded, adjusting her pearl necklace. "Maybe you should talk to Sarah, learn how she manages things." I wanted to scream that Sarah's husband didn't call her stupid, that he didn't control every penny she spent or monitor her phone, that she didn't have panic attacks in parking lots, terrified to go home. But I just said, "I've made my decision. The divorce will be final next month." They exchanged that look, the one that meant I was being dramatic again. 2 days later, my mother sent an email with the subject line, "A small request." She suggested, no, instructed, that I tell the extended family my ex and I were taking time apart to work on things, just through the holidays, just until emotions settled. "It's not lying," she wrote. "It's being discreet. Private family matters should stay private." I replied that I wouldn't lie about my life, that I was proud of choosing my mental health over a toxic marriage. My father called within the hour. "Your mother is trying to help you, Madison. You're being selfish and dramatic." Selfish? For not wanting to pretend I'm still married? For not considering how this affects the family? Your Aunt Patricia will be there with her son. He's single, successful. What kind of example does this set? An honest one? He sighed like I was a teenager caught sneaking out, not a 34-year-old woman who'd survived 8 years of psychological torture. "Your sister manages to keep her husband happy. She puts family first. Maybe you should learn from her." The comparison stung more than any insult. Sarah? Perfect Sarah, with her perfect house and her perfect children. Sarah who'd never disappointed anyone. Sarah who still had her seat at the Thanksgiving table. "I have to go, Dad." "Madison, we're just trying to protect you from making more mistakes." I hung up. My hands were shaking. Not from anger, from the familiar feeling of being small, wrong, never quite enough. The same feeling my ex-husband had perfected over 8 years. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. "We're having a family meeting in the group chat tomorrow. Please try to be reasonable." But the real blow came during our family group chat the next morning. The family group chat notification popped up while I was having my morning coffee. Mom had typed a lengthy message about Thanksgiving arrangements, who was bringing what, arrival times, sleeping arrangements for out-of-town guests. I scrolled through the guest list she'd meticulously detailed. Aunt Patricia and her CEO son from Boston, Uncle Robert and his family from Connecticut, Cousin Jennifer, the surgeon, flying in from Seattle. Mom's college roommate bringing her judge husband. Dad's golf buddy who just sold his company for millions. Every successful person in our extended network. Everyone who represented the Turner family standard. My name wasn't on the list. I read it 3 times, thinking I'd missed it. Maybe she'd forgotten. Maybe it was a typo. My sister Sarah was listed with her husband and kids. Even my brother Tom, who lived in London, was mentioned as joining virtually. But no Madison. My fingers trembled as I typed, "Mom, did you forget to add me to the list?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then Dad responded, "We need to talk. Call your mother." I dialed immediately. She answered on the first ring, like she'd been waiting. "Hi, honey," she said, her voice artificially bright. "Did you forget to add me to the Thanksgiving list?" A pause, the sound of her closing a door. "Oh, honey, we thought it best if you sit this one out." "Sit this one out?" My voice cracked. "It's Thanksgiving. It's family." "Yes, well, that's exactly the point. We need to present a united, successful family front this year. Patricia's son is considering a run for state senate. The Hendersons are bringing their daughter. You remember, the one who just made partner at that law firm. We can't have any complications." "Complications? You mean me?" "Don't be dramatic, Madison." "I'm not being dramatic, Mom. You're literally uninviting me from Thanksgiving." She sighed, that long-suffering sound she'd perfected over years of being burdened by my choices. Patricia specifically mentioned bringing her son. He's quite accomplished, Harvard Law, youngest partner at his firm. We can't have you there as a divorcee. It sends the wrong message. Wrong message about what? About our family values, our standards, about how we raised you. The words hit like physical blows. So my divorce reflects poorly on your parenting? Well, doesn't it? We gave you everything, private schools, college, a beautiful wedding, and you're throwing it all away because things got difficult. He was abusive, Mom. Every marriage has challenges. Your grandmother stayed married for 52 years. She understood commitment. I thought of Grandma Eleanor then, Mom's mother, who'd died 6 months ago. She'd pulled me aside at my wedding, whispered, "If he ever makes you small, you run. Promise me." She'd known. Somehow, she'd known. "Grandma also told me to never let anyone dim my light," I said quietly. Your grandmother had romantic notions. She didn't understand the real world. She built a real estate empire from nothing. And look how that turned out. Always putting business before family, dying alone in that big house. She wasn't alone. I was with her. Another pause. That's another thing, Madison. People are starting to ask questions about her estate. Why the lawyers keep calling you. It's unseemly, looking like you're angling for inheritance when you can't even keep a marriage together. My stomach clenched. Mom didn't know about my recent meeting with Grandma's lawyer, the one I'd been postponing because of the divorce proceedings. "I have to go, Mom." "We're doing this for your own good, Madison. When you get your life together, we can revisit." "So I'm being punished for leaving an abusive marriage?" My voice was steady, but my free hand gripped the kitchen counter until my knuckles went white. "Don't be dramatic. It wasn't that bad." "You weren't there, Mom. You don't know. Every marriage has problems. You just gave up." He called me stupid every day. He monitored my spending. Madison, please. Other people manage to work through difficulties without airing dirty laundry. My father's voice suddenly came through. He joined the call. "This is what happens when you make impulsive decisions." Impulsive? I spent 2 years in therapy before— Therapy, Dad scoffed. Another waste of money. In my day, people handled their problems privately. In your day, women suffered in silence. They understood commitment. Winners don't quit, Madison. They make it work. Even if it destroys them? "You're being melodramatic again," Mom interjected. "This is exactly why we can't have you at Thanksgiving. This negative energy, this victim mentality." "Victim mentality?" I laughed, but it came out sharp, bitter. "I'm finally standing up for myself." You're embarrassing the family, Dad said flatly. The Turners don't divorce. We persevere. The Turners also don't abandon their children. We're not abandoning you. We're giving you consequences for your choices. My choice to save my own life? Your choice to quit when things got hard, Mom corrected. Sarah's marriage isn't perfect, but she makes it work. She thinks about the family reputation. Sarah's husband doesn't abuse her. How do you know? She doesn't air her problems to everyone who'll listen. The implication hung there, that maybe everyone's marriage was secretly miserable, and I was just too weak to endure it like a proper Turner woman should. I'm your daughter, I said, my voice breaking despite my best efforts. I need my family. The silence stretched so long I wondered if they'd hung up. I could hear Mom breathing, Dad clearing his throat, the grandfather clock in their hallway chiming in the background. Finally, Dad spoke. You made your choice. Now live with the consequences. My choice was survival. Your choice was selfishness, Mom corrected. Thinking only about yourself, not about how this affects everyone else. Thanksgiving is supposed to be about family coming together. Family is about loyalty, she interrupted. You broke that when you decided your personal happiness was more important than our reputation. Mom, please. It's one dinner. I'll sit at the far end of the table. I won't even talk about the divorce. And when Patricia asks about your husband? When the Hendersons want to know what he's doing these days? What then? I'll say we're divorced, like an adult, because it's the truth. The truth, Dad said slowly, is that you're an embarrassment. Maybe if you'd tried harder, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Each word was a calculated blow, designed to hit where I was weakest. The same spots my ex-husband had targeted for 8 years. Not good enough, not trying hard enough. An embarrassment. I did try. For 8 years I tried. Not hard enough, apparently, Mom said. I closed my eyes, summoning strength I didn't know I had. So what happens at Christmas? My birthday? Every family gathering? When you get your life together, when you can contribute positively to family events, we'll reconsider. Contribute positively? What does that even mean? You know what it means, Madison. When you have something to be proud of again. Then Dad said something that changed everything. Until you get your life together, Dad said with cold finality, it's best you stay away from family events. The words hung in the air like a judge's sentence. Stay away from family. We've already told everyone you're traveling for work, Mom added quickly, like she was doing me a favor. You're already lying about me? My voice came out strangled. We're protecting the family reputation. Patricia doesn't need to know about your situation. Neither do the Hendersons or anyone else. So I just disappear, like I never existed? Don't be dramatic. It's temporary, just until you sort yourself out. Sort myself out, I repeated numbly. You mean find another husband? Pretend the abuse never happened? We mean become someone we can be proud of again, Dad said. Again. Like there was a before, when they were proud. But thinking back, I couldn't remember when that was. When I graduated summa cum laude, they complained I should have gone to an Ivy League. When I got promoted to senior accountant, they asked why I wasn't a partner yet. When I married, they critiqued every wedding detail. We'll let you know when you're welcome back, Mom said, like she was discussing a suspended club membership, not her daughter's place in the family. Don't do this, I whispered. You did this, Madison. Actions have consequences. My action was leaving an abusive. The line went dead. They'd hung up. I stared at my phone, waiting for it to ring, for them to call back, say it was too harsh, that of course I was welcome at Thanksgiving. 5 minutes passed. 10, 20. The silence was deafening. Final. I realized this wasn't the first time they'd been ashamed of me. It was just the first time they'd admitted it out loud. If you've ever felt rejected by family for being your authentic self, please hit that like button. Your support means everything, and it helps others find stories like this. Also, share in the comments. Have you ever had to choose between family approval and your own well-being? I read every single comment, and I promise you're not alone in this. Now, what happened next was something nobody saw coming. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Grandma Eleanor, who'd died 6 months earlier, just as my marriage was crumbling. She'd been different from the rest of the family, a self-made real estate mogul who'd built her empire from a single rental property in the 1970s. While Mom criticized my career choices, Grandma celebrated every small win. When Dad compared me to Sarah, Grandma would wink and say, "Your parents see price tags, not people." She'd been the only one who noticed the changes in me after I got married. The way I stopped speaking up at dinners, how I always looked to my husband before answering questions, the weight I lost because he monitored everything I ate. "Never let them dim your light, sweetheart," she'd told me during what became our last conversation. She was in the hospital, her hand surprisingly strong as she gripped mine. "Not your husband, not even your parents. Promise me." I'd promised, tears streaming down my face. "There's something else," she'd whispered, glancing at the door to make sure we were alone. "I've made arrangements. Mr. Harrison has all the details. When you're ready, really ready to start fresh, go see him." I'd been so focused on her health, then the funeral, then my divorce proceedings, that I'd pushed her words aside. Her lawyer, Mr. Harrison, had called several times, but I'd asked him to wait until my life was less chaotic. Now, sitting in my empty apartment, banned from my own family's Thanksgiving, I wondered what Grandma had meant. She'd always said she'd take care of me, but I'd assumed she meant emotionally, spiritually. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Ms. Turner, this is James Harrison. Your grandmother insisted I reach out again. When you're ready, I have something important to discuss." I called Rachel, my divorce lawyer, who'd become more than just legal counsel over the past 6 months. She'd held my hand through depositions, coached me through mediation, and never once judged me for staying as long as I had. "They banned you from Thanksgiving?" Her voice went sharp with anger when I told her. "Madison, that's emotional abuse. They say it's consequences for my choices." "Bullshit. Sorry, but it is. You left an abusive marriage. Any normal parent would be proud of your courage." I laughed, but it came out watery. "You haven't met the Turners. We don't divorce. We persevere." "You mean you suffer prettily so they can maintain their image?" "Exactly." Rachel was quiet for a moment. "You know what? Screw them. Have Thanksgiving with people who actually care about you." "All three of them?" I tried to joke, but the loneliness was crushing. "You have more people who care than you think," she said, and something in her tone made me pay attention. "Madison, can I be frank?" "Always." "Your grandmother contacted me before she passed. She wanted to make sure you had good representation for the divorce." "What? But I found you through that website recommendation? Your grandmother paid for that placement. She also covered your retainer through a trust." I sat down hard. "She what?" "She knew you'd need help. Real help. Not the kind your parents offer with strings attached. She said, and I quote, 'Family isn't always blood. Madison needs to learn that.'" Tears burned my eyes. Even in death, Grandma was still protecting me. "There's more, isn't there?" I asked, thinking of Mr. Harrison's texts. "That's not for me to say. But Madison, go see Harrison, soon." "Rachel, what do you know?" "I know your grandmother was a very smart woman who loved you very much." The next morning, I woke to find my mother had been busy on social media. Her Facebook post showed an elaborate Thanksgiving table setting. "Getting ready for our annual family gathering. So blessed to have everyone together. Hashtag family first. Had grateful." She'd tagged everyone. Sarah and her husband, Tom in London, Aunt Patricia, Uncle Robert, even cousins I hadn't seen in years. Everyone except me. The comments poured in. "Can't wait," from Aunt Patricia. "Beautiful as always," from Mom's church friends. Then one that made my stomach drop. Will Madison be there? Haven't seen her in ages. From our former neighbor. Mom's reply was swift. She's focusing on her career right now. You know Madison, always so driven, not abandoned, not banned, driven. My phone rang. Sarah. I saw Mom's post, she said without preamble. And? And I think it's wrong. What they're doing. For a moment, hope bloomed. Really? But Madison. She paused, and I knew what was coming. Maybe if you just apologized, told them you're working on yourself, made an effort. An effort to what? Pretend I'm still married? An effort to repair the relationship. Family is everything. Family is supposed to support you, Sarah. They're protecting you from judgment. You know how people talk. They're protecting themselves. Sarah sighed. I have to go. The kids need lunch. But Madison? Think about apologizing. It's just words. She hung up, leaving me staring at Mom's Facebook post. 63 likes now. A dozen comments about their perfect family. My phone buzzed with another notification. Mom had posted a photo from last year's Thanksgiving. All of us around the table, including me with my ex-husband, smiling like the perfect family we never were. The caption? Traditions are what keep families strong. #memories. It was like I was being erased in real time. I couldn't take it anymore. I called Mr. Harrison's office. Ms. Turner, his secretary said warmly, he's been expecting you. Can you come in this afternoon? 2 hours later, I sat in a mahogany-paneled office across from James Harrison, a dignified man in his 60s who'd handled Grandma's affairs for 30 years. Your grandmother, he began, pulling out a thick folder, left very specific instructions. She said you'd come when you truly needed it, not before. I think I truly needs it now, I said, my voice small. He smiled kindly. Eleanor predicted the timeline almost exactly. She said 6 months after her passing, give or take. She knew? She knew your parents better than they knew themselves. She also knew you'd need more than emotional support to break free. He handed me an envelope, cream-colored, expensive. My name was written across it in Grandma's distinctive handwriting. She said to open it when you were ready to choose yourself over them. My hands shook as I opened the seal. Inside was a single key and a letter. My dearest Madison, I read aloud. If you're reading this, they've finally shown you who they really are. Don't let them make you small. You were meant to shine. The key is to your inheritance. Not just money, honey, but freedom. The house on Rosewood Drive is yours. Yes, that house. The one your mother always envied. Live loudly, love freely, and never apologize for taking up space. All my love, Grandma. I looked up at Mr. Harrison, tears streaming. The Rosewood house? But that's worth $2.8 million at current market value, plus a trust fund of $500,000 for, and I quote, new beginnings and middle fingers to anyone who deserves them. She didn't actually say that. She absolutely did. Lee, 2.8 million, I repeated, the words not feeling real. The Rosewood House. Mr. Harrison slid a folder across the desk. 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, fully paid off. The taxes and maintenance are covered by a separate trust for the next 10 years. Your grandmother wanted to ensure you'd never be financially vulnerable again. I opened the folder with trembling hands. There it was. The mansion in Westchester County's most exclusive neighborhood. The one Mom had dragged us to see every Christmas when they did the holiday home tours. She'd always pause at the gate saying, someday, when your father makes senior partner. But Dad never made senior partner. And Grandma had owned this house the entire time. She bought it 15 years ago as an investment, Mr. Harrison explained. Rented it to diplomats, tech executives. It's been vacant for 3 months, waiting for you. Mom doesn't know? Your grandmother was very private about her holdings. Your parents knew she had money, but not the extent. Eleanor built her empire quietly, strategically. There was another document in the folder. What's this? Ah, that's the trust fund details. 500,000, accessible immediately. Your grandmother called it your freedom fund. She also left a list of financial advisors, therapists who specialize in family trauma, and, he smiled, a party planner. A party planner? Her note says, for when you're ready to show them what they're missing. Even from beyond, Grandma was playing chess while everyone else played checkers. There's one condition, Mr. Harrison added. You can never give your parents money from this inheritance. Not a loan, not a gift, nothing. She was very specific. They'd never ask, I started, then stopped. Wouldn't they? If they knew? Your grandmother protected you even from future guilt. She knew them well. I moved into the Rosewood house 3 days later. Walking through those massive oak doors felt like stepping into a different life. My life, finally. The foyer alone was bigger than my entire apartment. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating marble floors Mom would have killed for. That night, I sat in my new kitchen, all Viking appliances and Italian marble, and made a decision. If my family wanted to erase me from Thanksgiving, I'd create my own. I started a group text with Rachel and the few friends who'd stood by me through the divorce. Thanksgiving at my new place. No drama, no judgment, just good food and chosen family. Rachel responded immediately. I'm bringing wine. Lots of wine. Then something unexpected happened. My phone kept pinging. My colleague Janet. Can I come? My family's in California. My therapist's receptionist, Maria, who'd become a friend. I'd love to join. The woman from my divorce support group, my yoga instructor. People I'd never imagined cared enough to spend a holiday with me. Within 2 days, I had 29 confirmations. I hired Charlotte's Catering, the same company Mom always tried to book but could never afford. Ordered flowers from the boutique florist on Main Street. Bought crystal glasses and china place settings that would make Mom's good dishes look like paper plates. The party planner Grandma had recommended, David, was a miracle worker. Elegant but warm, I told him. I want people to feel welcomed, celebrated. Not tolerated? He asked with a knowing smile. Exactly. Your grandmother said you'd say that. As he transformed my dining room with burgundy linens and gold accents, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Excitement. This wasn't about revenge. It was about rebirth. For the first time, I was creating my own traditions. Thanksgiving arrived crisp and golden. By noon, my house smelled like heaven, turkey roasting, pies cooling, wine breathing. The caterers moved like dancers through my kitchen while David adjusted the last centerpiece. The first surprise came when Rachel arrived with someone unexpected. Marcus Chen, the CEO of my company. I hope you don't mind, Rachel said. Marcus is going through his own family situation. I thought, of course, I said, genuinely pleased. Marcus had always been kind but distant at work. Seeing him here, vulnerable and grateful, made him human. The second surprise was when 3 of Rachel's high-profile clients showed up. Rachel mentioned your story, one said, a famous author I'd seen on morning shows. It resonated. My family disowned me when I divorced my senator husband. By 3 o'clock, my dining room was full. 29 people who'd chosen to be here, not obligated by blood or guilt or tradition. The conversation flowed as freely as the wine. No one asked about my ex-husband. No one questioned my choices. During dinner, Marcus stood to toast. To Madison, for reminding us that family isn't about DNA. It's about showing up. To chosen family, the author added, raising her glass. To new beginnings, someone called out. As glasses clinked, I felt my phone buzz. Mom, probably posting her perfect family photos. I ignored it. Then Marcus said something that changed my professional life. Madison, I've been meaning to talk to you. We're creating a CFO position. The board's been impressed with your work on the Morrison account. Interested? CFO, Chief Financial Officer. The title Mom always said was unrealistic for someone like you. Very interested, I managed. Good. We'll talk Monday. For now, he raised his glass again. Let's celebrate what we're grateful for. As the sun set, casting golden light through my windows, Marcus made the announcement official. I don't usually do business at social gatherings, he said, standing again with that CEO presence that commanded attention. But surrounded by this energy, this authenticity, I can't wait. Madison Turner will be our new CFO, effective January 1st. The room erupted. Rachel actually squealed. The author grabbed my hand, tears in her eyes. That's how you do it, she whispered. Success is the best response. The salary is 170 base, Marcus continued, plus stock options and full benefits. You've earned every penny. 170,000, plus stocks. More than my father ever made, even in his best years. Maria was already taking photos. This needs to be documented, she said, arranging group shots by the fireplace, candids at the dinner table, and one perfect image of me raising a glass, surrounded by people who genuinely celebrated my success. Post them, Rachel urged. Let the world see you thriving. I hesitated for a moment, then thought of Grandma. Live loudly, love freely, take up space. You know what? Let's do a group photo in the foyer. The lighting is perfect there. 29 successful, accomplished people arranged themselves on my marble staircase. The author, whose last book spent 10 weeks on the bestseller list. Marcus, who'd just taken our company public. Rachel, who'd won 3 high-profile cases this year. My therapist's receptionist, who was finishing her PhD. All choosing to spend Thanksgiving with me. David took the photo with my phone. When I saw it, all of us glowing with genuine joy, my chandelier sparkling overhead, the marble gleaming, I knew this was the moment. Post it, Rachel said. Show them what chosen family looks like. Can you imagine your parents' faces when they saw those photos? If this story resonates with you, please subscribe and ring the notification bell. I share these experiences because I know I'm not alone. Maybe you've also had to build your own chosen family. Share your story in the comments. I personally read and respond to every single one. You deserve to be celebrated, not just tolerated. Now, let me tell you what happened when those photos went viral. I crafted the Facebook post carefully. No spite, no bitterness, just joy. Grateful for chosen family and new beginnings. Thankful for those who show up, celebrate success, and create space for authenticity, blessed beyond measure. Thanksgiving. Chosen family. Gratitude. I tagged the location, Rosewood Drive, Westchester County, the exclusive neighborhood Mom had dreamed about for 30 years. Then I uploaded the album, the grand dining room with its crystal chandelier, the marble foyer filled with laughing guests, Marcus raising a toast, Rachel hugging me, the author signing books for other guests, the spread of food that looked like a magazine shoot. The final photo, all 29 of us on the staircase, radiating success and genuine happiness. Within 10 minutes, the likes started pouring in. Colleagues, college friends, distant relatives. Comments flooded in. Gorgeous house! What a beautiful gathering. You look radiant. Within 30 minutes, it had over 100 likes. People were sharing it. The author, with her 1,000,000 followers, had reposted it with the caption, "This is what real family looks like." Then I saw it. Aunt Patricia had liked it, then unliked it, then liked it again. My phone buzzed. Sarah, is that Grandma's Rosewood house? I didn't respond. Let them wonder. More comments. Wait, is that Marcus Chen? OMG, is that Alexandra Morrison, the author? That house, though. Then came the one that mattered. Mom's church friend Carol commented, Patricia, isn't this your daughter? I thought you said she was traveling for work. No response from Mom, but I saw she'd viewed it. The little seen by indicator showed both my parents had looked at every single photo. My phone started ringing, Mom calling. I let it go to voicemail. Then Dad. Ignored. Then came the text that showed their true colors. The first text came from Mom, all caps. Where did you get that house? Then Dad. Madison, answer your phone immediately. Mom again. Is that the Rosewood estate? How? I was showing Rachel the messages when her phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and laughed. Your mom is calling me. How did she even get my number? Don't answer. But Rachel had already picked up, putting it on speaker. Turner Law Offices, Rachel speaking. This is Patricia Turner, Madison's mother. I need to speak to my daughter. I'm sorry, Mrs. Turner, but I'm not Madison's keeper. Perhaps try calling her directly? She's not answering. She's there with you, isn't she? At that gathering? The Thanksgiving celebration at her magnificent home? Yes, it's lovely. Your daughter has exquisite taste. Her home? That's impossible. That house is worth millions. Is there something legal you need, Mrs. Turner? Otherwise, I need to return to dinner. Mom's voice went shrill. How does she have that house? Did someone... She couldn't possibly afford... Mrs. Turner, I'm going to stop you right there. Your daughter's finances are none of your business. Happy Thanksgiving. Rachel hung up, and we both burst into laughter. Then my phone exploded with texts. Aunt Patricia, your mother is having a breakdown. What's happening? Sarah, Mom says you stole Grandma's house? Mom, take those photos down immediately. Dad, you're embarrassing us. People are asking questions. Mom, this is not how we handle family matters. Then the one that revealed everything. Mom, how could you not tell us about the inheritance? We're your parents. We had a right to know. Grandma's estate was supposed to be divided equally. There it was, the real issue. Money. It was always about money and status. The texts kept coming, each more desperate than the last. Dad, we need to talk. Come over now. Mom, people are asking why you're not at our dinner. Sarah, Mom's crying. What did you do? Mom, Patricia's son saw Marcus Chen in your photos. How do you know him? Dad, this is getting out of hand. Call immediately. Mom, you're making us look like terrible parents. Then, the voicemail that showed just how rattled they were. Mom's voice no longer controlled. Madison, I don't know what game you're playing, but this ends now. That house, those people, Marcus Chen, the Morrison woman. How could you have connections like that and not tell us? We could have leveraged those relationships. Your father could have networked with Marcus. I could have invited Alexandra to my book club. You've been selfish, keeping this from us. Another voicemail from Dad. Your mother is upset. The Hendersons are asking questions. Patricia wants to know why her son wasn't invited to your gathering. Apparently, he follows Alexandra Morrison on social media. This is exactly what we wanted to avoid. Call back. I turned my phone to silent and returned to my guests. Maria was teaching everyone a salsa move in the living room. Marcus and the author were deep in conversation about digital publishing. Rachel was opening another bottle of wine, laughing at something someone said. Everything okay? Marcus asked, noticing me checking my phone. Perfect, I said, and meant it. Absolutely perfect. As if on cue, David appeared with his camera. Golden hour light in the library. Who wants photos? We spent the rest of the evening taking pictures, sharing stories, and creating memories that had nothing to do with obligation and everything to do with choice. The social fallout began immediately. By Friday morning, the family group chat was in chaos. Aunt Patricia had messaged, "Why wasn't Madison at dinner? Her house looks stunning. I didn't know Eleanor left her the Rosewood estate." Uncle Robert, that was Marcus Chen in her photos, right? The tech CEO? How does Madison know him? Mom tried damage control. Madison had her own plans this year. We respected her decision. But Aunt Patricia wasn't buying it. You said she was traveling for work. Clearly she was home. with half of Westchester's elite. The church friends were worse. Carol had posted on Mom's wall. Saw Madison's Thanksgiving photos. What a beautiful home. You must be so proud. Though surprised you weren't there? Mom's response was weak. We celebrated separately this year. Different schedules. But people kept pushing. But it's Thanksgiving, and she lives 20 minutes away? At her book club, Mom discovered 3 members had already reached out to Alexandra Morrison about speaking at their events. We saw she's friends with your daughter. Could you introduce us? Mom had to admit she couldn't. Dad faced his own humiliation. His golf buddy Ted called, "Saw your daughter's promotion announcement, CFO at Chen's company. That's incredible. You must be thrilled. Hey, think Madison could put in a word for my son?" Dad had no idea about the promotion until that moment. Sarah texted me privately. "Mom's lost 3 charity committee positions. People think she lied about you traveling. Patricia's telling everyone you must have cut them off for a reason." The irony was delicious. They'd tried to protect their reputation by excluding me. Instead, my absence from their table while hosting successful people at a mansion raised more questions than my divorce ever would have. 3 days after Thanksgiving, I received a long email from my mother. The subject line, "Moving forward as a family." Dear Madison, after reflection, we may have been hasty in our Thanksgiving decision. Families should stick together through everything, including misunderstandings. Your grandmother's house is lovely. We had no idea she'd left you such a substantial inheritance. As your parents, we should have been informed about these arrangements. Nevertheless, we're willing to move past this miscommunication. We'd like to invite you for Christmas dinner. You could bring 1 or 2 of your new friends, perhaps Marcus or Alexandra. Your father has some business ventures that could benefit from such connections. Also, we should discuss the estate. Grandma Eleanor would want her assets to benefit the whole family. Perhaps we could arrange for you to host some of our charity events at the house. It would help repair any confusion about Thanksgiving. Let's put this behind us and remember what's important. Family. Love, Mom and Dad. Not a single apology. Not one acknowledgement of the pain they'd caused. Just a sudden interest in my new friends and Grandma's house. Rachel read it over my shoulder. They're really something, aren't they? They want access to Marcus and Alexandra. And the house. Don't forget the house. Grandma would want her assets to benefit the whole family, I read aloud, incredulous. The same family that banned you from Thanksgiving? I thought about responding with anger, with a list of their transgressions. Instead, I wrote, "Thank you for reaching out. I respect your position and have made my own. The house is my home, not a family venue. I wish you both well, but I need space to heal from our recent interactions. I hope you understand. Madison." Professional. Distant. Final. Mom responded within an hour, this time less composed. "Madison, you're being unreasonable. We're your parents. We have a right to be part of your life. Grandma's estate was meant for family, and we are family." I didn't respond. Dad sent his own email. "Your mother is upset. This division isn't healthy. Be the bigger person." I didn't respond to that either. Sarah called, but I let it go to voicemail. "Madison, please. Mom's telling everyone you've been manipulated by your new friends. She's saying the divorce changed you, that you're not yourself. Just come to Christmas. Pretend things are normal." Pretend. Always pretending with them. I sent one final message to the family group chat. "I understand everyone has questions about Thanksgiving. I'm building a life where I'm valued, not tolerated. I hosted my own celebration with people who support and celebrate my choices. I wish you all well, but I need distance to heal and grow. Please respect my boundaries." Then I left the group chat. My phone immediately exploded with individual messages, but I didn't read them. Instead, I sat in my library in my house, and wrote thank you cards to everyone who'd attended my Thanksgiving. To Marcus, "Thank you for seeing my potential when my own family couldn't." To Rachel, Thank you for showing me that family isn't always blood. To Alexandra. Thank you for reminding me that success is the best response. Each card was a small act of choosing my new life over my old one. That evening, as I placed the cards in my mailbox, I saw my reflection in the hallway mirror. For the first time in years, I recognized the woman staring back. She looked like someone Grandma would be proud of. 6 months later, I stood in my office. Corner suite, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The CFO nameplate on my desk still made me smile. My life had transformed completely. Monthly dinners at the Rosewood House had become legendary among my circle. Rachel brought clients, Marcus brought investors, Alexandra brought artist friends. My therapist, Dr. Chen, had helped me process not just the divorce trauma, but decades of family dysfunction. You were trained to accept crumbs, she'd said. Now you're learning you deserve the whole feast. My parents still sent cards for birthdays and holidays. Formal, stilted things that always ended with hints about reconciliation and family unity. I responded with polite thank yous and nothing more. Sarah had visited once, alone, on a random Tuesday. She'd walked through my house with wide eyes, fingering the marble countertops, staring at the art Grandma had collected. I didn't know it was this bad, she'd said quietly. What Mom and Dad did. I didn't understand until I saw what you built without them. It wasn't about building without them, I'd corrected. It was about building for myself. She'd nodded, tears in her eyes. I'm still not brave enough to stand up to them. That's okay. We all move at our own pace. The company had just announced my first major acquisition as CFO. The press release went out that morning. By noon, I had a text from Dad. Saw the news. Proud of you. 2 years ago, those words would have meant everything. Now, they were just words from someone who'd only valued me when I became valuable to others. I didn't respond. Instead, I called Rachel. Monthly dinner this Friday? Wouldn't miss it. My new client wants to meet you, actually. She's leaving a 30-year marriage. Bring her. We have space for everyone who needs it. Looking back now, I realize the inheritance wasn't just money and property. Grandma Eleanor left me something far more valuable. Permission to choose myself. Not everyone gets a $2.8 million house when they stand up to toxic family. But everyone deserves basic respect, genuine support, and the freedom to leave tables where they're only tolerated. Setting boundaries isn't cruel. It's necessary. My parents weren't evil people, just limited ones. They could only love in the language they knew: achievement, status, appearances. When I stopped speaking that language, they couldn't hear me anymore. The hardest truth I learned? Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you're meant to keep. That doesn't make you broken or bitter. It makes you brave. Chosen family isn't a consolation prize for those who can't make it work with blood relatives. It's a deliberate construction of love, built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine celebration of each other's growth. My house is full now. Not just on holidays, but random Tuesdays, quiet Sundays, whenever someone needs a soft place to land. The door is open to anyone building themselves back up, anyone who's been told they're too much or not enough. Success wasn't about proving my parents wrong, it was about proving Grandma right. She saw who I could become when I stopped making myself small for people who claimed to love me. Don't let them dim your light, she'd said. I didn't. I couldn't. Not anymore. Your worth isn't determined by family approval. You deserve to be celebrated, not just tolerated. And if that means building your own table instead of begging for scraps at theirs, build the most beautiful damn table you can. You deserve a seat at it. Eat. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe. Your support helps me share these important messages about setting boundaries and finding your worth. Have you ever had to choose between family expectations and your own happiness? Share in the comments. You're not alone. I read every story and reply personally. Remember, You deserve to be celebrated, not just tolerated. Check out my next video about rebuilding after family betrayal. Until then, stay strong and keep choosing yourself. You're worthy of love exactly as you are.